Hello and welcome. Today I want to show you a new-ish feature in Gemini. And honestly, I'm not positive if it's new, but it does seem to work better than it worked before, where you can create files and either download them locally to whatever device you're using, or you can have them put to your Google Drive. So first off, you just want to go to gemini.google.com, and then you'll need to log in. And you get to this screen, and let's see, I already did this, but let me just show you, let me set it up and show you what I did. So I came here and I kept the model on fast. I don't know that there's any advantage to going to Thinking You're Pro. Honestly, I don't know why there would be, so I would keep it on fast. And I didn't actually have to add any tools or any files. So this was just all prompting. And then let me open this up now, and this is kind of hard to follow. So I wrote it out on a whiteboard just so you can kind of see what I did here. And so this is a list of the types of files that I created and then what I put in each of them. So just going down the list, this is a .txt, which is a text file, and then I put 100 words of lorem ipsum, which is just dummy text basically. And then I did a .md file, which is a markdown file, and that was also with 100 words of lorem ipsum. And then I put in 5 bolded words, 5 italicized words, and 5 headings. The reason I added that in the markdown is because if I just had markdown with 100 words of lorem ipsum, it would just be a text file, basically. So this was to differentiate it from the text file. Then I did a PDF with, again, 100 words of lorem ipsum. I did a Google Doc with 100 words of lorem ipsum, a Google Sheet with 100 words of lorem ipsum, and then that one, because it would be weird if I just did 100 words, it would probably put it in one cell. So I had it spread it out over 10 columns and 10 rows. And then I did a zip file with a copy of each of the above files. All of these worked, by the way, and this is part of why I opened with, like, it's new-ish. Gemini was able to create files before, kind of. It didn't, for me at least, it didn't work consistently. And certain file types didn't work ever, and it was kind of clunky. So far, this seems to work a lot better, and it looks like the way it approaches it is different. So this is my prompt. And again, it's just what I showed you on the whiteboard, but it's just a little bit more detail in here. So I just put the type of file here, and then I just put quantity 1 for each of them just to be very clear what I wanted, and then the contents are, again, what I showed you on the whiteboard. So this is just kind of the longer version of it. And then what it did is it took a few minutes, like maybe about 3 minutes to make all those. And what it did that's different from before is I now have this show code. And if I expand this, you don't have to know, Python to understand this. I don't know what it did behind the scenes before, but it definitely didn't show this if this is what it was doing. But now it shows you Python code that it ran, and then you can go through for each type of file here, and like it defines lorem ipsum and puts 100 in there, no problem. And then it just goes through, and it's like here it creates a text file, and then it puts in lorem ipsum, and then here it creates a markdown file, and it separates out the heading. Like, it shows you everything that it did, but it just basically did it in Python code, which I think is why it works better now, but maybe not. And then if you watch it when it's happening, it'll show you, because it takes the Google files. So in my case, a doc and a sheet. It took those files and then it put those in Workspace. So those are in my drive, and then all the other files, it would just had them on here for me to download and then put them on my local device. And if I scroll down, this is basically what I just said. So local files are here. I can click on each of them and it'll download them, or it'll actually open them, and then I can download them from here. And then the Google Workspace files, it actually copies them right into my drive, and those are there. And if I wanted all the other files in my drive, it offers to do that as well. I didn't do it because I don't want them in my drive. I'm just going to delete them. But these two work perfectly fine, so I'm confident the others would go right to my drive. But it puts all the files here. Again, this took a couple of minutes. And then if I just click on one, like this is the text file, and I can just look at it here, or I can download it. Again, I can also prompt it to save it to my drive. And Markdown, which is just basically formatted text file. This is here. It separates out the heading. It has the bold, it has italicized, so follow the instructions. PDF, again, or ipsum. And it chose the names on here because I didn't specify names, and I didn't think about it till after, and it just wasn't worth going back. But if you're gonna actually do this, you may want to specify the names, because this one, it just calls it lorem-ipsum.pdf. I probably don't want it to be named that, but I didn't specify, so that's more on me. But PDF works fine. Here, download or print, and the zip file. It doesn't actually show the zip file, but I can just download it, and again, that also worked. And then for the Google Doc and Google Sheet, and these are in my drive, but if I just click on them here, it will still open them. And then this is the doc, and this is the sheet. So again, all these files worked really well. Again, I've done some of this before. I've tried some of this before, and it was kind of hit or miss. Like text files work, PDFs didn't really work, and gave a lot of weird errors. It would save files, and then it would say that it saved files, and then I wouldn't have access to them. And it did a lot of weird stuff. Again, this seems a lot cleaner. This worked a lot better. The local files were here to download. The workspace files, they worked fine. So just going back to one, if you want to do this, you go to gemini.google.com, you log in. Again, I didn't change the model. Like fast worked perfectly fine for this. And then I just put in the prompt, and then within the prompt, I specified what type of file I wanted, how many, and then what I wanted in the file. Again, I would, if I was doing this for real files, I would actually put a name of the files, because I didn't specify names in here. So this is like lorem-ipsum.txt, and this is lorem-ipsum.md, and lorem-ipsum.pdf, etc. So I would recommend doing type, quantity, contents, and name at a minimum. And then if you need other stuff, you can put that in. But you wait a couple minutes, and it will give you your downloadable files, and then it'll move stuff into Drive. If you want everything in Drive, you can just add that to your initial prompt, and it worked well. So try that out and see what you think, and we'll see you next time.